So now we're around the other side of the melon and zucchini bed looking at the greens that grew here. And remember that we had tatsoi and chard in a row, really tight to the edge of this brick concrete bed. The tatsoi's gone to seed. What started out as beautiful flowers has become little rattles. And I want to just bring them up close to you, see what they're looking like, because these are now, some of them at least, ready to harvest. Just to give you an example, there's flowers. We'll just show you 3 stages of getting ready to harvest, okay? So, the tatsoi started out to flower. Kale and chard and broccoli all do this. They start to flower. Then as the flowers finish up, they turn into seed pods. The seed pods start out green, and they're moist and mushy, and the seeds are starting to form inside. You can actually still see a flower on the end of that. Then the seed pods mature. So I'll just try to put them all up there in front of you together. The flower, the starting to mature, and the maturity. If you listen, there's a bit of a rattle sound, which means that inside here now are seeds that have totally formed, and they're so tiny, they're hard to show, but they're there on my palm. Little tiny seeds that have come from the tatsoi plant. So, all you do to save seeds now at this point, once they're rattly and dry, is get a bag, and in this case I use paper bags which keep things dry, and I just write on it tatsoi. If you know the variety of the thing that you're saving, you might want to put the variety on. If you want to put the year you harvested it or the year you want to plant it, next year's date, that would be good. But all I'm doing then is wanting to make sure that I don't lose these awesome seeds, so I clip off with scissors these little seed pods and I put them straight in the bag. And once they're in the bag, start giving them a shake, squish the bag a bit, and all the seed pods shatter inside, and the result of that is that all the mature, ripe seeds fall into it. The other thing you could do is you could take a baking tray or a cookie sheet and put all your seed pods on there and mush them and break them, and then just pour them off the corner of the baking sheet into a bag for saving. So with those 3 little branches I just snipped in here, I've now got hundreds of pods and thousands of seeds. I can go to a seed swap in winter, and having already set aside the seeds I'm going to use, I can share seeds with others who want to grow tatsoi. So next year's tatsoi planting is for sure. My seeds are free, and I know they're from a plant that did really well and was vigorous in my garden. It's going to do well in my area again next year. So that's saving seeds. I just want to take you into one other side of that, just to expand your mind a little bit on other things you could save seeds on. Okay, so I just went into one of my other gardens, and I got a beet that's gone to seed. Now this is a beet I didn't harvest last year. So the beets that are growing in my garden right now I can't harvest seeds from, but this is a stalk, one of the many stalks that came off of a beet that I grew last year. It's a variety of beet that's shaped like a cylinder, so it's called cylindria. So that's a cylindria beet seed. And again, I can take all of these different little stalks, snip them off like that, and just so you see, if you run your fingers along, they come off, and those are beet seeds. And that right there in my hand, 20 beet seeds, that'll grow 20 beets. It's amazing, right? That's all it takes. Just let things like root vegetables like beets grow over a year, and you've got seeds. Now, just one other take on it. Some chard, one of my favorite garden veggies, easiest to grow, super nutritious plant. I just uprooted one chard from last year, and it's right here. Just let me bring them in. Okay, so this is one chard plant that's gone to seed. It's 1.5 to 2 meters tall, and you can see how many parts and pieces on it. And all of these are seeds that are ripe and ready. These ones here are even browner and drier that I've got in the viewfinder now. So this one chard plant would have tens of thousands of seeds on it. Again, I've got the little bag that says green chard on it, and into there I can put my seeds for chard, and then I have lots to plant and lots to share for next year. It's that simple, guys, with beets, with tatsoi. Behind me here I have a lettuce plant that's going to seed. You see this lettuce plant? And it's just starting to head out right now, so if I let that go to seed, I'll be able to save the seeds off of that and have lettuce to grow next year. When you start saving your own seeds, once you've built your beds and got your irrigation in for backyard abundance, you can actually plant for free every spring, share with a few other people to get a bigger variety of seeds each year. Pretty ridiculous. I need to try to show you one other thing, people. And it's this sunflower growing behind the pole beans. I've got a bunch of varieties of sunflower, but this one You just got to meet him. Look at the size of his head. 2 of my hand spans across, so I think it's about 45 centimeters. There's so much food on there for the birds this coming winter, and I'm definitely saving seeds from this variety to plant next year. It's called a Russian mammoth. Woo, you're big. Okay, so that's about a wrap on our day 90 update. What an incredible experience. We've got a nice serving of tomatoes of different varieties coming in, some to ripen and some ready to go. We got our last pepper of the season and some green beans. We've got our last 6 cucumbers of the season. Just started the beet harvest, so I got 5 nice beets today. And keep in mind, those were very densely planted against the tomatoes. Most people probably wouldn't have planted anything by the tomatoes. And so it's been a slow harvest and grow time for the beets, but hey, they're still coming out as a whole nother crop next to the beets, next to the tomatoes rather. And then we got to harvest a melon that's perfect, and there's another 9 to harvest, so we've got some beautiful cantaloupe melons coming off of it. And I've shown you now a little bit on just saving some seeds from the Tatsoi, and we also did a bit of beets and chard because those are also items growing in this garden. One thing I do just to make sure that no one harvests a plant that I'm wanting to save the seeds from is on the plant itself or next to it on a little bamboo stick, I just tie a surveyor's tape or a flag or a ribbon, something that tells and reminds me and my family, don't harvest this beautiful plant, let it keep growing so we can harvest the seeds. The flag means we're gonna wait and harvest the seeds. So day 90, look at where we're at. By day 100, which is our next update, we'll have been pulling food out of here for about 50 days straight, and there's gonna be a bit more transition and a lot to celebrate. So it just keeps on going. See you next time.